So it's that favorite time of the week, and it is time to predict week 7 of the NFL season. So last week was honestly sort of a crazy week. There was a lot of upsets, and for my picks, I'll put them on the screen right here. That's where it was last week. I went 8-7. I went 0 for 2 in the Monday Night Football games, and it was just all my football. I can't even talk. But all that matters is we're still 500. We haven't had a week where we've gone under 500, and that's pretty good. But either way, let's just get straight into predictions. But before I first start, there was a comment I saw yesterday that said, or last week, that said I should go more in depth in it. So I'm gonna try to go more in depth. So this video is a little longer. Sorry about that, but either way, let's just get straight into it. So the first matchup of the week, Thursday Night Football, is the Steelers at the Bengals. And yeah, so last week what we saw from the Steelers is they just dominated the Browns. There was really nothing to it. I picked them to lose because I assumed them coming off a bye week, they were gonna seem kind of sluggish, but they were not sluggish at all. But I mean, yeah, their defense did what Steelers defense usually does. And meanwhile, for the Bengals, they just looked bad against the Packers. I mean, they were able to stat pad at the end to try to make it a little closer. I mean, that helped my fantasy team even though we lost, but I have Jamar Chase. But either way, this one I'm just gonna keep short and simple. The Steelers are easily gonna win this one. I'm sorry. Joe Flacco, he looked not that good last week. The Steelers defense looked amazing against Dylan Gabriel. I mean, that's not that hard to look good against, but they looked amazing last week. Their offense is starting to click again. So I have the Steelers winning that Thursday Night Football. So the first matchup of Sunday in London is the Rams at the Jaguars, but obviously it's in London. So last week we saw from the Rams, it was really reminding me of the Titans game, where it was a really slow first half, and then they clicked in the second half, and that's basically what happened. The only variable that is making this one sort of hard is we don't know if Puka's gonna play or not, because he got hurt in the second quarter of that game against the Ravens. So as a day I'm recording this, which is Wednesday, I don't know if he's gonna play or not. Meanwhile, for Jacksonville, last week they lost to Seattle, which I thought they were gonna win, to be honest, because carrying off the momentum of beating the Chiefs, I thought Jacksonville was gonna win that one, but obviously they didn't. But heading into London, both teams traveling, I mean, like the same width, because the Rams are actually staying in Baltimore, so they don't have to fly to LA then to London. But I think even without Puka, I think the Rams should win this game. The offense was starting to click towards the end. It's just the same issue that if the Rams were to lose this game, it's going to be because, one, special team sucks, because Cardi is starting to actually miss kicks now, not them just getting blocked. But then also, we can't score in the red zone. We just haven't been able to score in the red zone. And even Puka was on the sideline yelling about it, telling us we got to lock the fuck in. But I think the Rams should easily win this one in London before the bye. So the first early slate game is the Eagles at the Vikings, and this one intrigues me a lot because I'm pretty sure this is going to be Carson Wentz starting, I think. I don't know if JJ's coming back. Either way, the Eagles coming off of back-to-back losses, and they just got smacked on primetime against the Giants. Meanwhile, the Vikings are coming off of a bye week. But who knows if Wentz is going to start, to be honest, because Carson Wentz in that London game, I'll be honest, I didn't watch it, and I looked at the stats. So at least the stat sheet showed he played sort of well, I guess. But I don't think the Eagles are going to lose 3 times in a row. I think now they're going to have to try to do something on offense a lot different, especially because last week it didn't really work. I mean, they were starting to force feed. They were starting to throw a lot last week. I mean, Saquon only had literally 6 carries, but yeah, the Eagles, there's no way they're losing 3 in a row. So the next game is the Patriots at the Titans, and obviously the Titans just fired their head coach Brian Callahan. They fired him yesterday after, obviously he was gonna get fired. There was no him not getting fired, honestly, because the comments he made after, when he said that everyone should be blamed for the loss, even Cam Ward, and it just didn't feel good. Meanwhile, the Patriots are the they're not number C, but they're first place in the AFC East, and they're carrying a lot of momentum. That Saints game was a lot closer than it should have been, though, to be honest. After them, they didn't dominate the Bills, but they controlled a lot of that Bills game. But with that being said, I think the Patriots should easily win this one. The Titans could sneak this one away, though, because obviously there's been a lot of times where an intern head coach comes in and the opposing team doesn't really know what to do. However, Mike Vrabel going back against his old team, I think he gets that revenge game, and I could see them easily winning this game. So my prediction is the Patriots are going to win. So the next matchup of the week is the Panthers at the Jets. And obviously the Panthers just coming off of a big upset against the Cowboys, where Rico Dowdle has had almost 500 rushing yards in the past 2 weeks. So I don't know. I guess Chuba Hubbard might have to fight for his job elsewhere. But yeah, they came off a big win against the Cowboys, where their offense is doing whatever they wanted, to be honest. Bryce Young looked good. I mean, that one pick was sort of bad, but besides that, he really locked in. Meanwhile, the Jets 0-6. It's not looking good for them, to be honest. And if you want to see my honest opinions on Justin Fields, go watch my newest short that is coming out tomorrow, because I literally just finished editing it right now. But either way, the Jets do not look good. Fields is not good. Their defense isn't even bad, to be honest. It's just they can't score on offense, because Justin Fields, yes, he has no interceptions, but at the same time is he's not throwing any touchdowns. So easily Carolina should win this one, to be honest. I don't see a world where Carolina loses. They're just gonna obviously you have to keep giving the ball to your best player, so they're just gonna keep giving it to Rico Dowdle, which shit, I would do the same too if Kyron didn't fumble all the time. But either way, this one's pretty easy. Carolina should win. So the next match is the Dolphins at the Browns, and this one's a little intriguing because Miami could have got the win last week, but their defense choked at the end, and then Tua threw another pick. So it really, I don't know. They could have won. They had the lead with 20 seconds left and they choked. Meanwhile, the Browns, they just got, I mean, I don't know. The score looked a lot closer for the Packers game than it really was, but for most of the game they were down by a lot. And then I don't know. I don't like the way the Browns. Oh yeah, I'm fucking stupid. I'm stupid. Okay, I was talking about the Bengals. I don't know why I was talking about the Bengals. Whatever. The Browns, they're in the same boat. They did not look good last week. I think if this game goes bad, we could see Shador start next week for them. That's just it. But there's nothing else I could say about this game. The Dolphins are going to blow them out. And yeah, it's just going to be a blowout. So the next game is the Saints at the Bears. And obviously the Saints only have one win. It was against the Giants. But the one thing I will say is the Saints, they have been playing hard this entire season, if that makes sense. Like, they've only been blown out once, but besides that, they've played close to every single team they've played this year. And I think even last week they had an opportunity to win the game, but then obviously they couldn't do nothing on offense, which I don't blame them, because their weapons are kind of mid, to be honest. But yeah. Or meanwhile, for the Bears, they're coming off a primetime win in a game that they probably should have lost if Bill didn't fumble. But either way, they got the win. Their offense is starting to look good. Surprisingly, it's just Caleb Williams. He has to get a lot of the young quarterback things out of him. With that being said, I honestly still think the Bears are going to win this game. As much as the Saints, it'll be a close game. That's all I'm going to say. It'll be close, but I think the Bears should easily win this game. But all I'm going to say is I won't be surprised if the Saints somehow win it. So for the next match of the week is the Raiders at the Chiefs. And so for the Raiders last week, they they played the Titans. So to be honest, there was no way they were going to lose against the Titans. I mean, Geno Smith low-key was trying to get the Titans back in it, but they weren't going to lose against the Titans. Genty is starting to be the player he's supposed to be. But besides that, there was really nothing else in that game that was sort of big. I mean, they caused a lot of turnovers on Cam Ward. So, hey, their defense, I don't know. I don't know anything about the Raiders defense. Meanwhile, the Chiefs, they got a big primetime win against the Lions. And I think, honestly, that might be starting to get them on track. Their offense I haven't seen a Chiefs offense look that good since 2022. And they're getting Rashee Rice back this week. I could see the Chiefs dropping 50 on the Raiders. And yeah, I think the Chiefs are easily going to win this game. They're getting all their weapons back, or they're getting their wide receiver one back. It's just the only thing the Chiefs have to stop doing is just letting Pacheco start the drive off with a -1 rush. That's the only thing. Is the Chiefs, they're looking dangerous. And if they trade for Chuba Hubbard or something, the Chiefs dynasty just got more years to it. But yeah, either way, I have the Chiefs easily winning. So for the next match of the week is the Colts at the Chargers. This one could probably be the game of the week. I mean, the Colts, who would expect the Colts to be 5-1 at this point, to be honest? But last week, they low-key were in a dangerous spot against the Cardinals. But then obviously the Cardinals with Jacoby Brissett weren't going to do anything. So, But their offense, I don't know how Daniel Jones. I guess Shane Steichen just loves Daniel Jones or something, because I don't know how he fixed them, but he fixed Daniel Jones. Meanwhile, the Chargers last week had that come from behind win against Miami, or they had that final play where Herbert got to Ladd and they would end up beating the Dolphins. But they were letting the Dolphins get back in, and I don't know. That was a game that they probably should have lost, but they somehow won. Either way, I think the Colts easily win this game. Actually, no, they're not gonna win it easy, but I think the Colts win it because why? Their offense is just, they're humming. I don't know how they're doing so good, even though it feels like Daniel Jones isn't really like, they don't have a wide receiver one. I mean, Michael Pittman Jr. should be the wide receiver one, but they're not using him like a wide receiver one. It's just Jonathan Taylor's offense. And this reminds me a lot of their 2021 season where Taylor could have won off. Wait, no, he didn't win Offensive Player of the Year, but reminds me a lot of that season of Jonathan Taylor. So I think the Colts win this game. So our first evening matchup is the Giants at the Broncos. So the Giants last week coming off of a big divisional upset win over the Eagles, where obviously we've seen Scatterboo run for 3 touchdowns. And yeah, their defense forced a couple of turnovers, even though they did get bailed out sometimes because of Jalen Hurts. Meanwhile, the Broncos, they get a tight win over the Jets, where low-key they should have probably, I don't know. That was sort of a scary sight, to be honest. I was gonna bet a lot of money on the Broncos. I mean, they did win, so I would have won money, but like that would have been a lot of scary for me to wake up in. But either way, this has all the makings for an upset. Kevin Harlan is announcing the game, and everyone knows games he announces, the unexpected happens. So that's why this will be my upset of the week. I have the Giants beating the Broncos in Denver. I think this will be the game where Jackson Dart starts showing off his arm, because he's been showing a lot on the legs, and I think Denver's gonna try to be prepared for it. But I think this will be the game he starts to air it out, that mile high air. I think him and Wan'Dale Robinson are gonna go off this week, as long as Surtain isn't on them. But I have the Giants upsetting the Broncos in Denver. So the next matchup of the week is the Packers at the Cardinals. So the Packers last week, they dominated the Bengals. Near the end, they started letting them back in, but it was like they weren't gonna win. Meanwhile, the Cardinals, they actually could have beat the Colts, and a big but is they didn't have Kyler Murray. And the day I'm recording this, I don't know if Kyler Murray's gonna play or not, so his status is still up in the air. But I think even with Kyler, the Packers are gonna win no matter what. I just feel like this Cardinals team, they just leave a lot to be desired. And also Marvin Harrison got hurt too, but I didn't hear that much about it, so I think it wasn't that big of a deal. But either way, I think the Packers are easily gonna beat the Cardinals. And also the Cardinals haven't won at home this year. That's kind of crazy, but either way, I think the Packers easily win this one. There's not for much me left to say. So for the next matchup of the week, it is the Commanders at the Cowboys. So the Commanders coming off of a loss that they probably should have won. I mean, they were up by 2 with like 3 minutes left, and then Bill fumbles, and then the Bears go down, drive down the field, win the game. But there was a lot of preventable things that could have happened. Jane Daniels turned over the ball 3 different times. And I'm going to say 3 because that Bill fumble really wasn't on him. It was more Jane Daniels messing it up. There was a lot of preventable turnovers. Meanwhile, the Cowboys, their defense is just terrible. I mean, they're 2-3-1 right now, because obviously they tied, but their defense is horrible. Their offense is honestly their offense is good. Like, their offense is actually really good. Dak's having probably the best year of his career. George Pickens is popping off, which I don't know why the Steelers traded him, but either way, I think the deciding factor is going to be the Cowboys defense, and that's why I'm going to have the Commanders win. I feel like this will be the game where Jane Daniels will be able to show off a lot, because the Cowboys defense is terrible. They're the worst in the league. I mean, there's not much for just, I can't even talk. That's how bad the defense is. I literally can't even talk, but the Cowboys defense, they suck. They're terrible. So that's why I think the Commanders go into Jerry's world and snatch a win. So for Sunday night football, it is the Falcons at the Niners. So the Falcons last week, they got a big win over the Buffalo Bills at home on Monday, where Bijan Robinson had over 200 yards. and their offense was on a whole different level that first half. I mean, the second half they were on it too, but they weren't scoring at all. Meanwhile, the Niners, they had a close game against Tampa, but obviously the big news from that game is that they lost Fred Warner for the rest of the season. But I'm pretty sure they're gonna get Ricky Pearsall and Jawan Jennings back. But I don't think that defense, they have no leader anymore, to be honest, because they had lost Bosa and now they lost Fred Warner. So that's why I'm gonna pick the Falcons to win. I think Bijan is just gonna be, he's just gonna have his way, to be honest, on offense, because the Niners defense now, they have no leader, they have no soul. They're gonna look lost out there, but it'll be close. However, I think Atlanta will squeeze a win out. I think Bijan will have another big game. He might have 250 yards next game, but I have the Falcons winning this on Sunday night. So for the first of 2 Monday Night Football games, it is the Bucs at the Lions, and obviously Tampa Bay coming off of a big win against the Niners, where Baker Mayfield, hey, he's getting MVP chance, and they're more than deserves. Meanwhile, the Lions are coming off of an embarrassing loss to the Chiefs. To be like, I don't know how they lost. I mean, I know how they lost, but their offense just didn't look good, and their defense was getting bent over like the Lions defense usually does. And they will be without Brian Branch this game, as he got suspended for what he did after the game to Juju. But with that being said, this game will have a lot of fireworks in it. It'll remind me a lot of the divisional round game like 2 years ago. However, I would pick the Bucs, but most likely they're not gonna have a Emeka Egbuka because he got hurt last week as well, which I almost forgot to mention. But that's why I think the Lions will bounce back on Monday. They'll get a win against Tampa. As much as I want to pick Baker, I'm just going to pick the safe bet and pick the Lions. But last week I was 0-2 on the doubleheader from Monday night, which I just back-to-back Monday night doubleheaders. I don't know why, but either way, I have the Lions taking this game, and yeah, I have them winning. So for the final matchup of the week is the Texans at the Seahawks. So the Texans, they had a bye week last week, but the one thing for them is this season is they are just inconsistent, but that starts with their O-line. Their O-line is still terrible, which I don't know why they traded away their best O-lineman. And they didn't draft any. I don't get that from Houston. Meanwhile, Seattle comes off of a nice win over Jacksonville. But with that being said, I think that Seahawks will win this game. As much as I want them to lose, I think their pass rush will get to CJ. But since it was a bye week, who knows if the Texans O-line just magically gets better. But there's not for much of me left to say. This game won't be close. I don't know. I don't see it being close. I think Seattle wins by like 13 points. I don't have a lot to say about this matchup. But yeah, I think the Seahawks are going to win. So let me know in the comments if you guys think your favorite team is going to win. Also, let me know how I can improve this series. I'm open to everything. If I could describe more stuff. Yeah, just let me know down below. Also, yeah, there's I don't know. But anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, comment down below if you're I don't know what to say. Either way, I don't know how to end these things, but